All right, on today's CODE Daily, we are looking at a whole mess of stuff on your public holiday. It's a whole bunch of Australians we're looking at. I'm going across NBA, NFL, and NBL. Stats guy, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at some Aussies tearing it up in the Scottish Premiership and a big A-League rivalry.
I dig it. And Alex Donnelly, do you actually have the internet in your COVID cave? What are you looking at?
Finally got connected. I'm looking at Jason Day playing some golf finally, as well as Big Bash and a cold night at Stoke.
Oh, love that. Well, this will warm you up. It's CODE Daily. Check it out. All right, welcome to CODE Daily. It is Thursday, January 26, all day. Public holiday for all y'all out there. Not for us, working hard. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
CODE. Always here to bring up some odds comparisons and betting analyses. That's what we do. I'm your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of the aforementioned CODE. That's a very good website. Go check it out. What are you doing? I'm also joined, as always, by the patron saints of punting. It's Stats Guy over there in his Celtic top.
Celtic, yeah. Very happy to rep this. All the Aussies over there.
I just love calling him Celtic. It's great.
I didn't like that.
And we've got the man in his COVID cave, Alex COVID Donnelly. There he is. What's going on? He's still
unbeaten for 3 years with COVID. Still haven't got it. The girlfriend got it, so I had to duck home to make sure, because Jaymz has young kids, and I also work with a kid in Stats Guy to make sure I didn't infect anyone else. Locked up. Thankfully, I'm in the new unit. I have a lot more space, so it's a good time. I'm really bored already. It's been, a day and a half.
Checks out. The vibe, though, of, you've managed to avoid COVID for 3 years, still got herpes.
That's unbelievable.
Anyway,
hey, whoa.
CODE Daily. We do what it says on the tin. Pretty simple. Daily show about betting from CODE. Today, all Australian vibes. We're going to go player props, game picks, and best bets for today, the next day, especially in the case of a couple of my NBL picks, actually, and looking ahead for the NFL with one of the Aussie picks there too. So what are we looking at today? I've got NBA, NFL, NBL. I've got a bunch of the Aussies in action actually for Australia Day. So it kind of works out nicely. NBL, we've got a game tonight, 2 games tomorrow. NFL, we do have, basically we're guaranteed to have our first Australian in the Super Bowl since Big Benny Graham back in 2009. So
oh, wow.
good times.
Awesome.
Great memories. Stats guy's like, I wasn't born, whatever. Liam, what have you got?
I'm looking at some Aussies in the Scottish Premiership football over there and a big A-League rivalry.
I like it. COVID Donnelly?
Yeah. Looking at some golf. I've searched far and wide for this, the Big Bash and the FA Cup, and I was trying to sneak in a wrestling reference there, but our betting partners do not have a market for Buddy Matthews against Darby Allin on AEW Dynamite tonight.
Get on there and do some BYO. Just start.
If you can bet back Darby Allin, the dude from Melbourne isn't going to win. Buddy Matthews will not be winning.
I like it. All right, one player prop, aka a bit of a player performance look that we've got sort of today, tomorrow, whatever. My big one is essentially we've got a raft of Aussies actually playing in the NBA today, so it's a tricky one because in terms of actually like passing out some of the performances, you're not going to have too many markets for the likes of Aussie Matty T, Matisse Tybal out there in Philly. He's going up against his old mucker, Big Benny Simmons, a.k.a. Box Hill Benny. But obviously you'll have markets on Simmons, right? So Benny the Bricky, who's now afraid of actually seeing the basket, let alone putting the ball in it, apparently. It's a bit of a tricky one because going back to Philly, the city of brotherly love, what he will
They don't love him.
Will not be very brotherly unless you've got the type of brother that's going to try to throw batteries at you and punch you in the head. That sort of vibe, right? So I think, though, I'm fascinated by this. Simmons has done this before. He's been back, whatever. I think he's dealt with that. I think this is one of those ones where the Nets have had like a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of chill time. He's been roasted on the internet. He's trying to get his engagement ring back from Maya Jama. I don't know how he's going to go with that one. There's a lesson to be learned there. $800,000 is too much to be spending on a goddamn engagement.
Oh, geez.
I'd say stop dating celebrities and influencers, but that's just me.
It's all right. He managed to skip out on the Aussies and go hang out in Wimbledon with her, so that all worked out great. Anyway,
yeah, that was
karmic. I don't know. I'm not saying it, but maybe I am.
Kardashian Jenner curse, same thing.
But I reckon this is one where you should be able to get a half decent price on Benny with, 12 plus points, 8 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists. They're going to maybe be going up against Big Joel Embiid. Maybe. He's still questionable with a foot injury. And this Nets team doesn't really have a big man to combat him. So I think they'll get smashed. But Simo can probably step up. I think there's a 12, 8, and 8 in him. Just to sort of if there isn't, it's a worry. Because this is the moment where you go, Benjamin, just listen for a second, mate. Just show us something. Just show us something. We don't have
worth 200 million.
Kevin
Durant.
Durant.
It doesn't have to be massive.
Just give us something. Just give us a 12, 8, and 8, will you? Obviously, as mentioned, Aussie Matty T's on the other side. Look, if you do want to go and you can dig up some odds on Matty T, 2 plus steals, almost a given if he gets more than 8 minutes. Throwing a block there as well, just saying. But the other ones who are actually out there, Dyson Daniels is playing against Minnesota, the vacuum they call him.
That is not a real name. There is no way that's a real name.
When I say...
No, it is.
I do. But either way, Dyson Daniels, he rules. Love him. Stepping up of late, starting a bunch. Your player props.
I love him, yeah.
Old Dyson.
God, I hope his nickname's the vacuum cleaner.
Well, that's what I've been calling him.
I got a Dyson.
Listening, Alex. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Vacuum. The vibe on him, though, is very, very much a very solid role player at this point. So, yeah, performance-y sort of player prop vibes here are only going to be a few points. If it's above 8 points, you'd be feeling pretty good. Maybe a couple of made threes if you're really feeling lucky. But again, jump on the rebounds, jump on the steals for Dyson Daniels. Jinglin' Joe Ingles against Denver, the man from Happy Valley himself. Love Jinglin' Joe.
He's been really good.
Give us a couple of threes, Jingles. That's all we need. Just go 2 plus threes, Joe Ingles, because if he gets to touch the ball, he's shooting a 3. That's what he does at the moment. It's 3s and assists for Jingles. But the big one really is Josh Giddey. Giddy up, the mop-top Mamba. They're playing Atlanta. What an awesome backcourt battle this is. You got Shai Reddick, Gilgeous-Alexander, and our man, the mop-top Mamba, up against Trae Young and DeJounte Murray for the Atlanta Hawks. It's a great battle. Thing is, Atlanta defensively, no one can really match up, I think, to Giddey too well because you're going to have DeJounte as the defensive point guard. Throw him as hard as you can at Shai and just go, can you please stop him from scoring 30? And DeJounte be like, I'll try. Meanwhile, Giddey's going to go off. So I really actually like this spot for Giddey. They're at home. 20 plus points, let's say 6 plus assists, 8 plus rebounds. The rebounds have been there for Giddey of late. The assists haven't. I don't know if his teammates are just missing shots.
He's shooting a little bit more as well.
He's shooting that just a little bit more, a lot more driving. Yeah. And the tricky part is he's such a unselfish player a lot of the time, Giddey, is that he's the sort of point guard who'll give it up the first sort of chance he sort of sees a nice look rather than the James Harden, Luka Doncic, dribble. I passed it to you, shoot it quick. That sort of vibe, So love me some Giddey. So there's a 28-6 in there for Gids against Atlanta. Stats guy, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm happy to be talking about the Scottish Premiership on Sunday night. We've got Glasgow's green and white on. Very happy to be repping that. Big nuffy over here, but I'm going to go through it anyway.
It's better than that blue team you support, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least, this team's been winning.
At least that team wins.
Very true, very true. But I'm looking at Sunday night in Scotland, Celtic versus Dundee United. Dundee have actually been going pretty well mid-table, but Celtic are just the most unstoppable team in that league. They're top of the table, 9 points clear. And talking about Aussies, you got the coach is Aussie, Ange Postecoglou, probably, in my opinion, the best coach the Socceroos have ever had. And he was very, very unlucky not to be kept on. So he's doing really well. They've got assistant coach Harry Kuehl, another legend of Australian soccer. And then I'm going to talk about Aaron Moy, who's been one of their best players for Celtic since he's come along this season. So the Aussies scored 2 goals last game, started to take their penalties. He took their penalties in the last 2 cup games. He plays in midfield, usually passes first, but in this team, he just likes to shoot long range, shoot as many times as he can. He's $2.85 to $3 to get a goal in this one. They've absolutely dominated Dundee United the last 3 times they've met. They had a 9-0 win against them this time last year. So I think their total aggregate is 16-2 across their last 3 matchups. So I really like Moy's chances. I think he will get at least 3 or 4 chances on goal. He's much better value than the strikers. I think our strikers are $1.50 to score. You got Kyogo, who's leading the league in in the goals. So he's not even worth really having a punt on. But I think Moy got 2 goals last game. Easy at $3 around just score on most betting sites. And then I'm going to have a look. Ange, he's got this team with Ange Ball, just pass. Just first touch, a bit of tiki-taka, as I've liked to say before. I think they're going to win halftime, full-time. It's $1.70, good for a multi. You can't find too much value for Celtic when they're dominating every week, but I think halftime, full-time's a good bet, especially when they have beaten them 3-0 and 9-0 in the last 2 meetings.
$1.70.
This is dangerous for you, stats guy. I remember last time you tipped Celtic.
I know.
I think it was the first time they got beaten in about 8 years.
This is only the second time in 6 months that I've tipped them. The first time was our first loss, I think, in a year. So if this happens, I'll be watching it, and if that something horrible happens, I'll have to ring Ange and say, sorry, mate.
I love this.
Podcast. Yeah. Send all your abuse to Stats Guy via Twitter.
We're paying $1.20. I'm paying $1.20, but I wouldn't be surprised now if something happens. But I really like this bet.
Liam the Mush McAllion. There you go. We've got him a new nickname.
Stats Guy the Stopper.
Unreal. COVID Donnelly, what do you got there?
Yeah, I'm looking a little bit wide here. I searched far and wide. So it's like, I'll have a look at the Scottish Premier League. I saw Stats Guy out on the run sheet, so I don't want to look like I was copying with Hearts having half of the Australian team at the moment.
Oh, that's what I've got that later on, actually.
Yeah, I'm going across to Jason Day, the golfer playing in the Farmers Insurance Open, which is honestly a terrible name for a tournament, over in Torrey Pines in San Diego, as Ron Burgundy would say. Look, he's on the comeback from an injury issue. He's basically been having debilitating injuries for the last few years now, and he's had to change his swing a lot to try and even just get back on the course. He's only played one tournament the last few months, and that was last weekend. And you look at it and you'll see, tied for 18th, not great. He did hit 6 under for the front 9 on Sunday in the 4th round to get him up into that tie for 18th. So he's hitting form at some good time. He loves playing at Torrey Pines. He won this tournament in 2015 and 2018. He's actually had 13 cracks at this tournament. He's won it twice, obviously, with 3 other top 5 finishes. So pretty decent record when you consider how sort of up and down golf can be at times.
Definitely.
John Rahm is winning absolutely everything at the moment. Like this is like prime Tiger, just winning everything. It's ridiculous. But look, if Day can get back to somewhat of his best form at a track that he knows well. Look, he's $23 to win it. I'm not really tipping him to win it, but you can get $5.75 for him to finish in the top 5 and $3.40 for a top 10 finish. A lot of courses in the PGA Tour are really it's a horses for courses type of scenario, whereas people play well, on your certain sand belts, your links, your things like that. So we're going with a bit of history here, and Jason Day, hopefully his body can hold together for 4 days. And I don't mind the $3.40 top 10 and even the $5.75 top 5. But you know what? If you think you can stop Rahm, take the $23 with bet 365.
Yeah, I do like
that's
that.
Good odds.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, top 10, $3.40 for a guy like as good as him. That's
but the problem is he's played 8 tournaments in the last 13 months, and he's only won once in like the last 3 years. So
he's got to jump back.
You're really banking on him to actually be fit and healthy, and the fact that he's backing up a week after playing in his first tournament for a while, it suggests that the body's ready to go.
It's a good one. I like it. Some nice golf in there for you. Game picks, match picks, any sort of looks about a sort of random game you've got upcoming. For me, this is the NFL that I mentioned earlier. You can actually find the team to punt first.
What? This is another niche one.
Oh, God.
Absolutely love.
This is like me betting on the coin toss.
So we're going to go Mitch Wish, a.k.a. Mitch Wishnowski, the punter for the San Francisco 49ers. This is a tricky one because, punt first, right? It's like, all right, so we didn't score on our drive. We're going to have to punt first. It does kind of feel like the Niners, with their 7th-round quarterback, Brock, he's Purdy, they could sort of go into the link there in Philly and maybe just, have a bit of a stuttery start. But, of course, to punt first is it all comes down to the coin toss, so you can actually just bet the coin toss as well and see how you go.
Can you multi it up?
you probably ought to be able to actually.
But also take $1.85 about the coin toss because the odds are definitely in your favour there.
Also, don't do that. Yeah.
Never do that.
Gamble responsibly.
The Niners to punt first, it does feel like the Eagles could very easily, if they get the ball to start with, they're at home, they'll be flying because they've got the crowd behind them. They could easily score first without, drive, they kick a field goal or score a touchdown, whatever. I think that first Niners drive might just be a bit, we just got a couple of nice plays. We're a bit nervy. This sequence has just fallen apart. We'll punt. Mitch Wish goes out there with that booming super boot of his and boots the ball. And the Niners punt first, and you've cashed $1.76 with Bet365. So
That seems so dumb.
that's the one Australian aspect you could really find with the NFL games, because Jordan Mailata on the other side for the Eagles, it's a bit tough when you're an offensive tackle to have any betting props about you. So there you go. What do you got?
Well, you got one. You found a bet. Yeah, I'm going to the A-League for probably the first time this year. You've got the Big Blue, they call it, the Navy of the Melbourne Victory versus the Sky Blue of Sydney FC. Now, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the past. They're usually both in the top four, I reckon, since I've been alive. But this year they're in the bottom three, which is a bit sad. But they're both looking to rise back up the ladder. So it's still a big match, and two of the biggest fan bases that like to get up and about. Other than Victory, which has caused a bit of a stir lately. But so that hasn't helped Victory. They were already close to the bottom of the ladder. Nani, their signing, who used to play for Manchester United, he got injured. He was big signing. He got injured. They had the pitch invasion.
He's been out for a couple of months though, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I'm just saying since then, and then the pitch invasion, and then everything, they just keep dropping down. Now they're last on the ladder. So I really like Sydney FC in this matchup. They are a better team than 10th. They've actually got some pretty good players that have played overseas in the Scottish League and a few other leagues. So I think they're pretty good. They've actually won 9 of the last 11 Big Blues. So I don't know how you can call this a big rivalry at the moment. But I remember when I used to watch
it. It's just that Sydney is better than Melbourne.
Yes. So you get Sydney $2.60. So it's pretty even odds for because they're both low on the ladder. But I think Sydney, given their form, are slightly better. Victory have only won one of their last 8 matches as well. So I'm taking Sydney at $2.60. Yeah.
It's all right. Just remember that Alex doesn't like culture. Big Bash.
Yeah, where do I live though? It's like I've moved here and I'm actually like, you know what? Melbourne as a city is actually better than Sydney. I've freely got to admit. Sports teams,
All right, good job. Great save, Alex, as usual.
Yeah, great save.
What you got? What's your game match play? What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm jumping ahead to the Big Bash. I don't know what they call this because they have really stupid names in the Big Bash for the finals. Basically, if you win this, you're in the grand final. It's the Perth Scorchers against the Sydney Sixers this Saturday in Perth. Perth have a ridiculously awesome record over in Perth, of course, winning 12 of their last 13. One problem for Perth, though, none of those 12 wins have come up against Steve Smith. That bloke that Stats Guy said sucks at T20 cricket has hit about 8,000 runs in the last week.
He messaged me last night saying thanks, so he's been killing.
Did he tell you to go F yourself as well? Because I feel like he might have done that too.
I just needed the spur. It's all right.
Yeah.
Right. Don't worry about it. He and Stats Guy will punch on in a public park at some point next Sunday.
In cricket gloves.
And we'll put it on pay-per-view and it'll make us an absolute mozza. Look, as I said, none of those wins have come against S. Smith. He could literally win with a bunch of park nuffies at the moment. He's $3 still to be the top batter for Sydney.
That's pretty good.
Just keep backing him. The dude's in form. Just keep betting until he's out of form, or in this case, he leaves to go to India. He averages 97 at this stadium. That's in international cricket, and now he's coming up against the Perth Scorchers. Perth Scorchers, obviously the absolute benchmark of this competition, and have been for many years across the BBL.
Well, last 5 years.
This is literally top 3 batsmen in the world right now, possibly Australia's greatest batsman ever. You can get 750 about him to be man of the match. So if you think he's going to hit another 100 just to shove it up, Stats Guy, take that. I like the way the Sixers are going at the moment. I think that their form is better than Perth's. I reckon they can get the job done here and cause an upset. The $2.12 to win. So, you've got $3 for Smith to score the most runs, $7.50 man of the match, and $2.12 for the Sixers to win. I'm pretty keen on the Sixers to win. Their bowling lineup's doing a really good job as well. But if Steve Smith hits 50 or 60, they'll probably just win anyway.
Wow, I'm just impressed that most of that sort of spiel included drive-bys of both Stats Guy and Don Bradman. So take that.
We are in the same sentence a lot, so I'm happy to be that in the same sentence again.
You literally do get referred to as the Don Bradman of your generation. So,
but not for playing cricket, for other things.
Right. My best bets for today / tomorrow, pretty straightforward for me. NBL, going to stick in Australia for this one. We've got ironically, actually going to go against.
This is funny. This is actually very funny.
I've got the Brisbane Heat. No, the Brisbane Bullets. They're bringing the heat against the New Zealand Breakers. Unfortunately,
the only New Zealand team in the competition.
The New Zealand team will win this game. And I'm taking New Zealand in a heartbeat because, look, the Bullets have turned around a bit of sketchy form, a.k.a. they were horrible for most of the year, even with my good man, Big Aaron Baines, bangers. And actually, friend of my program, NBA Australia, who do we have on that one? We've got Jason Kadee. I don't think Sobes has been on for a while, but yeah, bangers. Love that squad.
Cool.
Unfortunately, they've been bad. So I'm going the Breakers, who have, I believe it is, if not, I think it's one of the best sort of away records, obviously, in the NBL this season. They're 8-3, so it's a top 2 away record. I think it's Cairns who lead the league with the away record, and the Breakers are second. So they're 8-3 away from home. The Bullets are 4-8 at home. I'm going to go the Breakers. Pretty straightforward there for me. Obviously, if you want to go the line is only 5.5. I'm taking that in a heartbeat for the Breakers. I think they smashed the Bullets. And then we've got Tasmania Jack Jumpers against Sydney Kings. It's an NBL Grand Final replay again. They've split these 2 games that they've already played this year. But Sydney won the last one by 20. Smashed the Jackies. It was a bit of a tough one. But I don't know. There's just a little bit of something there. If you want to go the line, I don't mind the Jack Jumpers plus 4.5 to keep this one close. That's $1.95 with Bet365. But I think my pick is Kings head-to-head. $1.47, $1.50, you can find it. That's not a bad look as well. The Kings to get that win. And then Perth, Illawarra. Illawarra, look, turned a little bit of a corner of late. They haven't been abjectly horrible, but they're still 1-12 on the road. So just go Perth at home, and away you go. The 10.5-point line, you could probably feel pretty safe about that with Perth. Perth have been scratchy here and there as well, but I don't know. Just got to sort of lean into the fact that Perth have been better all season than the Hawks very clearly, because I think Perth are currently still in, obviously, the play-in race. They're 13-11. Only 7-4 at home in the usual fortress out there in the West RAC Arena, but I'll still take Perth to win this one and probably go the line. So again, that's like $1.90. $1.90, $1.89, 10.5-point line with Bet365. There you go. I like that I've taken the New Zealand team to win on Australia Day. Good.
But like any good Australian, we just claim the Kiwis as our own anyway, you know.
Exactly.
So.
It's in the Australian Basketball League, so
Exactly. Stats guy, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going back to Scotland for the Scottish Premiership. We've got a massive, Aussie display with Livingston versus Heart of Midlothian, or the Hearts, as they like to be called. The Hearts have 4 Aussies now, so 4 Socceroos that play for them, which is, so if you're looking for a team overseas to get around, people like a bit of Celtic, but Hearts is also really good to watch if you're an Aussie. They just signed Garang Kwol from Central Coast Mariners from the A-League, so he's a big signing. So now they've got 4 Socceroos. Very cool, very good to watch. They've absolutely killing it in the Scottish League. They're third. They're undefeated in their last 8 matches and just been really good in attack. They've just got a really, really good attack that can score 2 or 3 goals every game. And you've still got Kwol, who's been coming off the bench. So you've got a quality player like him. That was a bit of a pun accidentally there. Coming off the bench. So I really like their squad.
Quality.
Quality. It could be a headline in the future, I reckon, when he scores his first goal in the next couple of weeks, I reckon. They've also beaten Livingston. Hearts have beaten Livingston 4 of the last 5 times. They really like this matchup. They pretty much play the same away or home. They're sort of a bit like Celtic. A lot of the top teams in the Scottish League just like to play attacking.
I mean, they are 23 points off Celtic in third, which is insanity.
It is insanity because actually a pretty good team, but that's why
third and they're 23 points off.
It's crazy, yeah. They're actually pretty good. So it's just Celtic are just too good at the moment, and they've got a bit too much money, which is why the league might be changing and Celtic might be going to Europe. Anyway, but yeah, Hearts are a very good team despite what the difference on the ladder is, and I think they can easily get a win in this one. And you can get them at $2.10 on most sites. I think Bet365 had the most. So $2.10 for a team that's flying. Yeah.
Having that good winning record, geez, it's hard.
I think it's because it's away. The Scottish fans in just every stadium are pretty vocal and they like to really win at home. So
it'd be cold. It'd be cold,
and it's freezing.
They're going at Livingston over
Livingston,
the weekend.
It's been -1 most, I think, at least. Yeah.
There, so. Beautiful.
freezing. But
beautiful conditions.
Yeah, Hearts love those conditions, so I think they'll get the job done.
Yeah.
$2.10.
Love it. COVID Donnelly, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to the FA Cup. Stoke City versus Stevenage. Stats guys, mate.
Where is this called from?
Yeah.
Can you do it at a rainy night at
Come on.
Stoke, Alex?
Yeah. Have you done it in the midweek at a cold night at Stoke?
Have you done
Yes.
it, mate? I just love how we're talking about Stoke.
Yeah. Look, Stoke are in the Championship and in the lower half of the table, but Stevenage are in League 2, so you've got that obviously League 1 difference between them. The last time Stevenage played a team in the league above them, they got belted by Portsmouth, who were 10th in League 1, so that's sort of not ideal. They did beat Aston Villa, but that was just after Unai Emery had taken over, so still trying to get used to everything.
Right.
And you see really weird results in the second and third round in the FA Cup at times. And like Wrexham, they're in the fourth round and they're almost a chance of knocking off.
That's so
I think
cool.
they're playing Sheffield United and going into the fifth round. Well, check the FA Cup primer on codebet.com.au. It'll be up there later. It should be up there by now, actually. But Stoke, they got back into winning form last weekend after losing their last few. They smacked Reading 4-0. They're $1.60 to win here against a team that's 2 leagues below them. They should be winning. Hopefully, Harry Sutar plays a role, gets the job done.
I love
Maybe
it.
gets a
He's going to be in the
Premier League.
soon, yeah.
That's the Australian link. But Stoke obviously know how good he is and are probably asking for a very, very high price. And
they denied a few. They denied a few on the weekend for him for 10 mil. I think they won at least 20 or 30.
That's because they're 18th and there's a chance if he leaves, they could get relegated.
That's true. He holds them together a little bit, so it'd be pretty cool if he's in the
But $1.60 out Stoke to play Stevenage in League 2. They're at home. They should win.
That's good. I like the Australian connections as well. Very, very nice work, gentlemen. That is it. Hope you've enjoyed your public holiday. We'll be back on deck tomorrow for your Friday. That'll be fun. Can't wait.
We get public holiday rates?
No. You don't. We do.
You missed it today. We'll talk about that.
Sucked in. Either way, that's what you get for giving Coco. Subscribe on your podcast app. Like, review, star it. Check us a follow across your socials there, the Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok. Go check out, I don't know, Leo's face tattoo and Stats Guy and his stat of the day. Send in any.
You got to do a stat of the day, Stats Guy. It's been pretty bad. It's been static whenever you can get around to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Stat of the week. I like it. All right, that's it. I think. Thank you, Stats Guy, and your Celtic gear.
Thank you. Go Celtic.
Thanks, Alex. Don't cough at us, even across the.
Yeah, it's all right. Another wrestling T-shirt. You can't see it, but whatever. Royal Rumble week.
Great job, as always. Thanks, Gerald, for producing. Geraldinho, just an absolute magician out there. And thanks to me for being out here with Cutout Dally, hanging with Mr. Cooper just off to the left. I love the NBA Australia studio. All right. What do we say, Stats Guy?
Remember responsibly.
Well done. Nailed the timing on that one. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. Enjoy your public holiday. We'll catch you tomorrow. CoBet Daily, out.